All right, this is video 2 of describing the Gospel of Thomas, translated by Thomas O. Lambden. Previous video, we went from, based on what's on the screen, 1 through 16. So I'll be starting at 17. Oh, wow. 114 of them. So I'll be starting at 17 and finishing whenever I finish, wherever I finish. I got no plans, no specific cut point. But first, I want to explain the first video. That was my first video I've made in a while like that. Especially one where, well, to explain what I did wrong, I over-explained. And that was the whole point of explaining those lens videos. Like, where am I what am I even talking about? That was the point. Those videos were the point of explaining. So I didn't have to keep explaining every time I mention life, even. Like, I have to explain details of life every time I say it, or if I say in the endless now, the current moment of now, it gets annoying and it's interruptive and disrupting on both sides. I have to keep explaining things because what's being shared is the point. That's the important thing. So I'm stuck in between. Excuse me. I'm stuck in between just simply freely expressing and with an intended audience, like just somebody listening with the intent of understanding, instead of just completely dropping that and just talking as if nobody's listening and just simply talking into a microphone as if I'm recording for my own sake, if you understand. So I'm simply going to talk and not explain. I'm going to describe but not explain. Any misunderstandings, go check out the Lens playlist and try to understand. All right, let's get started. And forgive me if it takes me a little bit to get going here. This is still just my second video. I'm still taking the training wheels off the bike and still going down the street. One step at a time. So just bear with me. All right, 17. Yeshua said, I shall give you what no eye has seen, and what no ear has heard, and what no hand has touched, and what has never occurred to the human mind. Read and contemplate that myself within for a moment. What no eye has seen, and what no ear has heard, and what no hand has touched, and what has never occurred to the human mind. Yeah, the essence of life itself. The very foundation from which everything flows is in presence of it or in absence of it. itchy nose. Because the very core essence of self that is entangled to everything that animates and lets everything be, you cannot see that with your eye, you don't hear it, and you can't touch it. It is the intangible essence of what you're specifying. You know, if it's a person, it is the essence, the very core essence of the person. If you keep going deeper, it is entangled and part of the very essence and flow of that which is life. The very thing, that which matters most, above, beyond, above, below, and beyond all things, including all things, you know, first, last, master, servant. And yeah, that's what he gave. That's like he said, he fulfilled the covenant and shared the Holy Spirit, to put it in biblical terms. I believe that is correct. I'm not going to sit here and analyze every little thing I say. But yeah, that's what he shared, the very essence of life itself. That is everywhere within us and everywhere else. Which again, multiple languages, multiple slices, defining it multiple ways. Religion, science, philosophy, biology, like all of them just keep naming the same thing in different languages. And that singularity, that is that which matters most, is the very essence of life itself. In religion, they call it spirit or soul. Same thing, same essence. It's all pointing at the same thing. The very essence of life itself. And that is what Yeshua shared and gave with everybody by fulfilling that covenant. "18. The disciples said to Yeshua, Tell us how our end will be. Yeshua said, Have you discovered then the beginning that you took for the end? For where the beginning is, there will the end be. Blessed is he who will take his place in the beginning. He will know the end and will not experience death." Now, he could be, there's one way to take it. He could be describing himself. I'm trying to look at it from a different angle, though, right now. Because the disciples asked. So it's indicating it could have two ways of analyzing it. One for referencing Yeshua and the other for the disciples, for others, rather. One for himself and one reference of it for others. It could be just two ways of looking at one explanation or one description, however you want to put it. That's a hard one. Discovered what? The beginning of your life? Or the beginning of your physical life? Or the beginning of your essence? Nobody knows the beginning of their essence. I mean, the beginning of your awareness. Yeah, I know that. I was 3 years old. Oh, I get it. Oh, that is cool. Just like yesterday with the reference from. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna go back to that. That's the same. That's literally naming the same thing. Oh, that is. I love this. Where is it? Where's that old man reference? Oh, that is good. I'm more excited than really paying attention to what I'm looking at. That was good. I like that. Oh yeah, I really can't concentrate. I'm just in contemplation, in within the state of understanding right now more than observing, to name it specifically and singularly. I'm sitting here more in a state of understanding singularly while my body is scrolling through, but I'm not paying attention. Oh, that's fun. I love it when that happens. All right. Where there? Yeah, there. Wait, what? Yeah, the man old in days. See, that's what I was literally looking for. I was looking for the phrase "the old man." So that's why my eyes didn't catch that when I first came over for Yeshua, Thomas, and this, if you're saying vision, I don't know if it's verse 4 or I don't know how this is later. This is literally 1 through 114, and that's it. It said, 4, it said, Yeshua said, the man old in days, the old man, will not hesitate to ask a small child 7 days old about the place of life, and he will live. For many who are first will become last, and they will become one and the same. That is why I did not. That's why I'm leaving the first video alone, because of the things that were stated on that stuff. It's like, that is worth leaving alone. That's why I'm not editing the previous video. I'm just leaving it as it is, raw. But what is that talking about? Have you discovered then the beginning that you look? Have you discovered then the beginning that you look for the end? Meaning you got to know the beginning first. For where the beginning is, there will be there will the end be. Blessed is he who will take the place in the beginning. He will know the end and will not experience death. Oh, that is good. Discover the beginning of your life. And when I look at my own beginning, the emergence of awareness, like literally awareness itself emerging, like suddenly you're aware of existing, period. I was 3 years old, through stupid ice cream cone, chocolate ice cream cone on the neighbor's porch. And she went absolutely ballistic. That is my first, I wouldn't, you call it a memory, but it hasn't changed my entire life. And we're talking about something that happened in 1984. It's the moment where your own existence has become self-aware, basically. To put it plainly, that's what it was. Suddenly, I'm aware of everything and myself going on, and it was chaotic. It was the first real jolt of what doesn't belong. As in, what doesn't belong to the very flow of life itself. That is within the endless now. So now to compare it to verse 4, what's in the beginning, once you realize your beginning, what is there that is similar to the end? It's the same exact comparison as the old man and the 7-day-old child that was referenced in verse 4. Trying to bring it up again, exactly what I said yesterday. Because I say it in the moment. This ain't planned. I'm analyzing this, contemplating it in the moment. So it's like, it's not like I just alt tab and read a script. Excuse me. I don't have a mute microphone button set up right yet, and that was rather abrupt. I didn't have time to be consider the sound. What is in the beginning that is also in the end? How do I put it? I don't know how I put it yesterday. I'm trying to think of how. I'm not thinking of how I put it yesterday. I'm thinking now how to put it in right now. Not repeat what I said yesterday, but describe it again, but in the moment right now, without analyzing anything I've said before, trying to remember it, leaving yesterday completely to yesterday. Not with the intention of seeing if I say it the same way, but just, yeah. But it's just almost like another point of analogy, since it's a different verse, even though it's naming the same thing. It's like analyzing it all over again from a different starting point. Verse 4 verses 4 versus verse 18. I know the answer is the same, but this language might not be, or just, it's hard to describe. I'm only explaining because I'm thinking. I'm sitting here in contemplation. And now I'm explaining too much, which is what I don't want to do, which is interrupting me. Okay, enough of that. In the beginning, You're completely aligned, innocently and in harmony with the very essence and flow of life. You go through living, basically, if you're aware enough, you get to old age, you start to learn those things in the beginning that were just childish nonsense was actually in it, which people call children innocent, which they have no idea how deep that really goes. That really goes down to the very foundation of children. They are innocent to the very foundation of themselves still. Meaning, nobody has negatively influenced them away from the presence of life itself and the flow of it. Not identity, not illusions, no nonsense, just pure innocent harmony with life. And as you go, as you age, you learn that over again. If you're understanding enough to even analyze what matters most beyond yourself, or even for yourself to start, or beyond yourself but for yourself, so to speak. It's like, if you don't do any of that, you're never going to learn. If people who learn what matters in life, to life, not to themselves, but to the flow of life, they literally just go back to understanding like a child. Or no, how do I put it? They're weightless like a child because they know life matters the most in the endless now and everything that flows from it and into it. So those are the similarities. Those are the same, starting and the beginning and towards the end, which me, I'm only 44 years old, and me realizing this, well, I hope I'm still here. It'll be what it'll be. That's all. I'm just saying, I hope I'm not on my way out, but it'll be what it'll be when it'll be. I ain't bothered by it. But that's what that's pointing to again. Same thing as 4. Which again, if you want, and then blessed is he who takes place in the beginning, he will know the end and will not experience death. The end, I mean, that's the only similarity is between the beginning and the end of living, which is where death resides. Because beyond the physical death, it's not death, it's ceasing. It's simply ceasing to be. That definition is beyond death, like beyond the general the understanding of the word death. Ceasing to be is like the deepest definition of that understanding. So he will know the end and will not experience death. So again, like, that could be self-referenced. No, because he did. Nope. Well, physical. See, that's another difference. I'll just name this real quick and move on. People question whether what is within is real or not. I have known since 3 years old, it is the opposite. I'm not entirely realizing it yet back then. But I don't live from the outside in, I live from the inside out. To say it plainly, that's how I've lived. So it's like, well, then, will not experience death. Well, I mean, well, yeah, spiritual death. Your essence will continue in the flow of that which is life itself. What comes next after, physicality? I myself, I don't know. But guess what? I'm not worried about it. Because that's only from one thing to another. All right. That was cool, but got over explanatory. But that was worth it. That was worth it. That was good. But I kind of took the wind out of my own sails there, explaining, because that went really cool to crap. Like, I'm trying to remember it and then purposely not trying to remember it and then analyzing it without remembering what I said yesterday. All the while trying to act like I'm not talking to an audience with the intention of educating an audience if they if they care to understand. Meanwhile, I'm all good. All right. 19, Yeshua said, "Blessed is he who came into being before he came into being. If you become my disciples and listen to my words, these stones will minister to you. For there are 5 trees for you in paradise which remain undisturbed summer and winter, and whose leaves do not fall. Whoever becomes acquainted with them will not experience death." All right. I don't get the 5 trees. Blessed is he who came into being before he came. That's a self-reference. I could leave that alone. Because he's the only one who was before he physically was. You get it? Like, Yeshua was existing before he was physically existing. And as far as I understand human history, there's no other person who's ever who has ever been verifiable enough to even make that claim. These stones will minister to you. I see that stands out. Now, these stones will minister. That could be a direct reference to the disciples. Except, he says, if you become my disciples and listen to my words, not the disciples' words, if you listen to Yeshua's words, the stones will speak to you, will minister to you, educate you. That's easy. That's easy now. Now, if I stop there, if I don't read further than that, if I answer on that, it's easy within understanding. Now, explaining it in vocal language, spoken language, that's a whole different ballgame. That's where I somewhat fall short. I am very extremely fluent in understanding, but in spoken description, no. See, people go to school to frickin' learn all this fancy language and descriptions and whatnot, and all they're doing is naming the same bland foundation with pretty words. Whereas I did the opposite. The stones, and this is what I mean, you could put any fancy word you want on it, but if you don't understand depth, you're only stacking fanciness on top of surface, superficial nonsense. Not nonsense, but fragmented understanding with more ignorance. That's all. You can describe a drinking straw, with such fancy language, but within the language of understanding, a straw as simple as could be. See the difference? Language can make anything sound deep, even ignorant fools, to make a generalized example. And there's Pickles, the red-eared slider, baby turtle, sunbathing with its legs out like, I'm on top of the world. Just a worthy interruption right there. People got decorations on their desk. I got a aquarium on the corner with a red-eared slider swimming around to keep me company. But what do actual stones deeply represent? A singular state of harmony and perfection with itself, with reality, with existence, with life. People think, oh, it's just a stone, it's just a rock, it's just a pebble. They generalize it, but they don't understand the essence of it. That's what I mean. You can put fancy labels on it. You can make a stone sound fantastic. Like, look at diamonds. If you want to call that a stone, go ahead. Like, in general. But then you could put whatever label you want on it and make it sound all fantastic. But in understanding, it is, well, at least the label they put on it, the label of understanding is simple, and then they put all these words on top of it to sound fancy but not understand it. A stone is not influencing anything. It is not taking anything in. It is not giving anything out. It is simply harmonizing with existence exactly as it is in the now. Without outside influence, a stone, and here is the deepest understanding of it, a stone, by its absolute singular self, is complete in itself. Therefore, it is in complete harmony with existence, with life and the flow of it, and the now. See how you can call the stone anything you want in language, but when it comes to understanding, it's like, it's such a juggling act. It really is. And it's like, you really, all that from just a stone? Yeah, that's fun. That's why I like doing it. It makes a stone, a simple stone on the road or on the wherever, it makes its presence valuable, even if it's just a stone. That's how it ministers to you, because it's perfect as it is. It doesn't require anything. It doesn't give it. It just is as it is. And that is so awesome. And it's just a stone. See what I mean? It's just like, people are so scared of deeper things, but the deeper you go, true beauty of life arises. The only bad thing that shows itself are the illusions. Which, yeah, if you look at it that way, that big fat diamond on your finger, suddenly in the value you put on it, it's literally just a stone. Except the value of itself as itself, a stone, is pure value to that which matters most and the flow of it. And that is what people don't like. And which is the whole point of this. Because if you suddenly realize such value of even stones, it's like, and nobody, and people aren't talking about this or teaching this. It's like, okay, I gotta open my mouth here because this is awesome and I want to scream it to everybody. Like, that's the whole, that right there is like that, what's described as that biblical invigoration where you're just lit up to just scream from your rooftops. Just to get invigorated like that from just a reference of a stone. Am I taking it too far? I don't care. It's awesome. There's nothing bad to it. I'm not illusionizing a stone. I'm being literal. Literal examples, definitions, structure, analysis, understanding. I don't care how nonsense it is. I'm having a blast. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's why I'm saying deeper understandings of things isn't I mean, well, it's scary when if you got a lot of skeletons in your closet to dig through, but once you dig through them, oh boy. Now, 5 trees for you in paradise. I have no idea what that means. 5 what? Is that regarding to foundations of being? I don't know, because I'm sure if I named all I freaking knew, I probably wouldn't be far off, or I would be accurate, but I don't have a list in front of me to compare it to, and I've never analyzed it. A number of, if there are a number, I don't know. Excuse me. Like I said, yeah, leaning forward, give me gas. 5 trees. You know what? I'm moving on from that. I don't understand that, and it'll suck up too much time sitting here analyzing it. No, I'm gonna try to remember to look that up later for my own interests, because I don't want to. I'm not sitting here. This isn't a contemplation session where I just simply record and endlessly analyze and look things up and do all that nonsense. This is literally just reading this, describing it, going with it, and then that's it. So I will look that up myself after this if I remember, because I'm curious now of what that 5 trees represents, like within. 20. The disciples said to Yeshua, "Tell us what the kingdom of heaven is like." He said to them, "It is like a mustard seed. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it falls on tilled soil, it produces a great plant and becomes a shelter for birds of the sky." Cabbage. I love cabbage. Trying to look up the significance of a mustard seed, or no, there's cultural symbolism. That doesn't. I don't want I want actual symbolism, not cultural symbolism. There's a difference, I'm sorry, but religions and cultures and societies don't define it. They define themselves. And that's what I want to know. What does a mustard seed itself symbolize? Symbolize what? Is it harsh? Is it like, what's the word where like you get a lot of, wait, but if it falls in the tilled soil, so that wouldn't be much hindrance on growing. Whatever word I was looking for, I can't think of it straight away. So if the environment is good, there's not much friction, it grows good, but is it, you know what, whatever, I'm moving on. I'm not going to stop and play around with about mustard seeds. Mary said to Yeshua, "Whom are your disciples like?" This is 21. He said, "They are like children who have settled in a field which is not theirs. When the owner of the field come, they will say, let us have back our field. They will undress in their presence in order to let them have back their field and to give it back to them. Therefore I say, if the owner of a house knows that the thief is coming, he will begin his vigil before he comes and will not let him dig through into his house of his domain to carry away his goods. You then, be on your guard against the world. Arm yourselves with great strength, lest the robbers find a way to come to you. For the difficulty which you expect will surely materialize. Let there be among you a man of understanding." When the grain ripened, he came quickly with his sickle in his hand and reaped it. Whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. All right, let's get to this. Owners of the field. I'm going to say owner. I'm just going to say Yeshua. Now, the owner of the field itself is God, that which is God. That is the owner of the field. So when they come back, I want what's mine. Undress in their presence, I'm just going to say, undress in his presence in order to let him have his field back. I'm assuming them is referring to heavenly hosts or heavenly beings or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying not to be specific in naming. Just be generalized in description of understanding, explanation, not to be naming things as if I have any authority or if I've ever seen anything that calls itself, that kind of being or any other definition of it. Undress in their presence. What does that mean? That's what you have to analyze. Rid your shame, the weight of falseness, the weight of absence, and that which is not of life itself and the flow of it. That is undressing, where you are nothing left but your pure presence. Singular, period. Just your presence. Not your skeletons in the closet hanging on your back. That's what undressing means. Therefore, if the owner of the house knows that the thief is coming, well, who's the thief now? First it was the owner of the field, now it's a thief. Well, who is the owner the thief? Or is the thief somebody else? Oh, that was a field. Now it's a house. I'm sorry. I was too far into analyzing. Excuse me for a moment. I'm going to put my hands over the microphone and just yell upstairs. Chill out! All right. So, yeah, I got mixed up there. Yeah, one's a field, one's a house. So that's completely different. So, but that doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's put incorrectly because you can't really call. I mean, to put it to say it flat out. Okay, if that which is God is coming to take you the heck away, that is not a thief. If being taken away is better, that's not stealing, that's getting an upgrade. So that's a bad wording. It might be taking you away in secret. It's not really a thief because you're not doing wrong. It's doing what is absolutely right. So therefore, thief is incorrectly put there because thief is more of a negative or an absent of life phrase, word, however you want to put it, definition, explanation, expression, etc. Unless I just stopped here and analyzed. Yeah, I just analyzed it. I could be referring it wrong. It could be correct. I could be just analyzing it incorrectly. He will begin his vigil before he comes, and will not let him dig through into his house of his domain to carry away his goods. All right, so the thief really was a thief. Because I've heard it say before that yeah, that whole rapture thing, that God is going to come like a thief in the night. But that's not where that's what I was like. That's what I thought this was referring to. The thief was supposed to be God. That's why I corrected it. But no, it's really the bad ones. Basically, dig through his domain, his house, to carry away his goods. Basically, negative influence. Your being is the house. Okay? Your being is the house. Your goods is the that which is within you that is more aligned to that which is life, its presence than its absence. Because the thieves of the world want to steal that. So be on guard for it. And don't be disillusioned or taken away and be, influenced incorrectly. Harm yourselves great strength, let's finally come to you. Yes. And yet, there is no defense needed all the way at the foundation, because it's simply, no, I'm not even going to get into that. For the difficulty which you expect will surely materialize. Yeah. I mean, basically, if you let the nonsense of this world, the things going on, influence you, and it could suck you away, and bye-bye. You're going to be living your life of misery and absence. Heck, you could even live it enjoyingly in absence. Except there is nothing in absence, no matter what amount, can ever compare to presence. Yes, even a rock, even a stone. Let there be among you a man of understanding. And that's exactly what I'm not saying that that's naming me or nothing. I'm just saying that that's exactly what I'm talking about. Understanding. Like, that's all it is all about, is understanding. What else is there? Like, I know there's different ways of being, but that's the foundation. That's the next step above awareness. Awareness and understanding. Because how can you see anything without understanding it? How can you even exist without understanding anything? It's like I can't even process a robot having zero understanding. Well, yeah, I got programming. That's understanding. It's understanding within a set programming. So I left out that whole "let there be among you a man of understanding" and just singled out understanding. That's all I took out of that sentence right there. I left the sentence alone and just concentrated on one word. That's all. If that claim is from divine, then only divine can name that. That is why I moved on to just that singular word, understanding. Because let there be among you a man of understanding. That's referring to like a singular person in that specific context. And when you put it that way, that is only that which is the authority of life, that which is God, to name. Nothing else and nobody else. That is why I singled out understanding. When the grain ripened, he came, yeah, see, and yeah, like whoever, yeah, that would be, and when the grain ripened, he came quickly to say, yeah, I'm assuming there among you a man of understanding would be Yeshua, since it, came quickly with a sickle in his hand and reaped it. That person, that man of understanding is coming. That's what it says here. And to reap the harvest. I'm trying to think, does that mean anything else but that? Give me a second. So I had to check on my boys and use the bathroom. All right, you know what? I'm moving on. I'm not going to sit here and take a long time on one thing like that, because that's a lot there to put it there, right there, drop it. I kind of want to analyze that. Like the whole, when the game ripened, he came quickly with a sickle in hand and reaped it. I'm trying to think what that could mean. What that could mean deeper. Like not in the physical reference. Within a reference. Like everything that's going on within us. Like the whole intangible flow of life. I don't know. That's another one I'm going to have to take my own time to sit here and contemplate on. That's fun to me. That's all. I have fun doing this. I don't know how it sounds to other people, but I have fun. I just enjoy analyzing within understanding. I like analyzing simply for understanding itself, and while in a primary state of singularly understanding. Like really, like literally just remaining within a state of understanding just to understand something, period. That is fun. Not making it about yourself, just analyzing something that's important just to know it, just to understand it, period. That's fun. Especially when the deeper you go, the more fun it gets. Because then you can see, okay, well, that's an absence of life. I don't want, I understand that. I've had enough of that. Let's go with this. Let's go with presence. And then you get lit up like a Christmas tree. It really is that easy. But again, you have to be anchored right in the now, not endlessly looking at the past or the future. You have to be completely present in the absolute endless moment of now. Otherwise, you're fragmenting yourself into a past that's mere information and a future that if you just gaze at it, it never will be. The influence of the now materializes forward into the future and then it returns right back. That is the very flow of life itself. Either its presence or its absence. Its absence never flows, never continuously flows forward or outward. All right. 22. Yeshua saw infants being suckled. He said to his disciples, "These infants being suckled are like those who enter the kingdom." They said, don't mind me. It's just the understanding of it. It's not haha funny. It's harmonizingly humor, or I don't know. It just like it comes out harmonizing laughter. The understanding of it. Like I said, it's so easy to understand, but it's so hard to describe. I hate it. And it's like if I had the whole snobby sounding language, those long, endless freaking words where people are just like, "What did you say?" There's no point. You gotta simplify it down so much, and it's so hard to do. Because it's like, what's the point of sounding dynamic if nobody can understand you? You have to understand dynamics and then speak simply. There's a difference. You speak it plainly so the other person can dissect it themselves. It's like it's not your job to hand them every understanding you are aware of. You show the blueprints of something, you say, "Here, build it yourself with an understanding." That's all. Putting fancy words on it just to sound good for society, that's no way of being. That's fake as shit. They said to him, "Shall we then as children enter the kingdom?" Yeshua said to them, "When you make the two one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, and when you make the male and the female one and the same, so that the male not be male nor the female, and when you fashion eyes in the place of an eye, and a hand in place of a hand, and a foot in place of a foot, and a likeness in place of a likeness, then you will enter the kingdom." Oh, that was a mouthful. Like it could have stopped at right there. It didn't need to eyes in the place of an eye. Yeah, that one. Yeah, A hand in a place of a hand. It went from duality to singularity too much. Now, when you make the two one, and when you make the inside like the outside like the inside, see, that is honestly, in this environment we live in, I don't know if anybody can make the outside like the inside if they live from the inside out. Unless they're a hermit, which even then, that is counterproductive to the end. That is the opposite of the inside. Unless your inside is empty and silent. But silence isn't emptiness. Haha. So basically, all the life flowing, that which is within, you can't, I mean, that, you can't be in solitude like that. And I mean, that's basically the losing battle, because I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not the authority, so I can't really claim. I mean, I've never tried. I mean, I wouldn't even know how to make the external as pure as the internal is. If you're honest with yourself and you don't have a closet full of skeletons. I've never had a closet to throw skeletons in. I always internally faced every single thing I've ever done, even if I went through with doing it. I never lied to myself. So, I mean, you get to a point of living as honest as you are, living externally on the outside as honestly as you are on the inside is possible. And that is perfectly doable, just simply living honestly. Beyond that is where it's like, that's, I don't know. Because it's like there's so much crap going on. It's like being bombarded with nonsense and negativity endlessly and absence of life. And it's like, stop, man. There's more presents over here. Stop throwing poo. It's like you're throwing the wrong thing. You're throwing poo when I got, something. The others, when they're throwing absence around like it's presence and ignoring the presence. If all you look at is the absence of life and the negativity, that's all you're going to see. Which I've seen enough of that. I don't put anything past anything. That's why I say going beyond honesty is cloudy in understanding how that can be possible, because there's so much absence in the world. And we're the only thing that I can come up with myself in understanding that is possible to not be influenced externally by the absence of life would be honesty. Just simply be honest. Not intentional, not not self-identity based, not projection based, no, just simply being in the singular state of honesty, to the point where it becomes naturally subconscious, working through the external, the physical, or rather the outside, like that says. I mean, honestly, if you were around say a community of people that were more honest and more presence of life than dishonest and illusions and absence, that would be easy. But for one person to do it when the majority around them is more absent and more negative, it is, and more lying, and when honesty gets you screamed at or gets you aggressively yelled at because they're defending their lie or their illusions, it's extremely hard. That's why I said beyond honesty, I honestly don't know what is possible, because it's like the deck is so one-sided, it's ridiculous. And as far as above like below, and when you make the male and the female one and the same, that's not talking about marriage. The essence, the very core essence of your existence, of your being, is intangible. It simply is. Again, intangible. Gender is physicality. Your essence simply is that it is. That's what that's referring to. So that's like, like two, one eye to two, one hand instead of two, one foot instead of two. Singularity, meaning the only thing flowing instead of you, like, two things good and bad. You're just simply flowing in life. That's it. There's no two of you. It's just you're flowing in life. It's just like, floating in a stream of water, and you're just floating on down you go. Almost like you're one with the water. Well, be careful and play nice. Ooh, don't scare the... Oh, that's just a little boo-boo. What, you want a Band-Aid?
Yeah.
Cool.
Also got boo-boo from the wood.
I told you to play, not mess around.
Because I turned the carpet out of my closet.
And I asked you not to be doing stuff like that because it's got to be relatively quiet for what I'm doing here. And I'm still recording too. Oh well, just a little interruption. Life happens.
I hate the ghost.
Huh? Don't stick your finger. Let her chill. She's just sunbathing, man. Come on, get your foot up here. Move your toe away so I can put your Band-Aid on. Get your finger out of the way. Oh, come on, you're good. There, go upstairs, keep it down. I'm almost done. I'm leaving that in too. They're getting a little anxious, so I'm just gonna... But yeah, I pretty much, covered that. Like this, then you will enter the kingdom. Because it's basically saying you align with that which matters most beyond yourself. Completely. And that's what that's referring to. As far as what comes of that, that is not mine to dictate, like, is it you will enter the kingdom. I'm not God. I cannot say that. I'm still here, so I don't know. But it's like once you understand the very essence of life, that which matters most in the endless now that flows forward and returns and keeps harmonizing instead of in presence and not absence, that's what that's referring to. I'm talking about all this, that which is within. Now, I'm not making physical references here. There is a difference between the physical or the tangible and the intangible self. You don't understand that? Hey, man, that's not on me. Not at all. All right, 23. Yeshua said, I shall choose you 1 out of 1,000 and 2 out of 10,000, and they shall stand as a single one. I have no idea. Don't know. Choose what? Like people to be aware of understanding of life? I don't know. I'm moving on. That's too short and vague. You know, he's choosing 1 out of 1,000, 2 out of 10,000. Single, they shall stand as for what? Well, what's the purpose? For what's the to do what? I got nothing to go on here. All right. His disciples said to him, show us the place where you are, since it is necessary for us to seek it. He said to them, whoever has ears, let him hear. There is light within a man of light, and he lights up the whole world. If he does not shine, he is darkness. I just covered that from 22. About being aligned with the very flow of life. To see, to understand in the now that which matters most and how it moves forward and returns. To be in harmony with life and to understand what nourishes life, which is the same thing that nourishes everything flowing from life to life, etc., or that which is away from that. To name it simply, it's so more dynamic to explain. When understanding without spoken language is so easier. But yeah, that would, and it lights up the whole. See, now this is what I want to cover real quick. When there is light within a man of light, and he lights up the whole world. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, I'm lighting up the whole." No, I'm not going. I'm just going to take that and explain a recent example happenings. Okay. I have been interacting with strangers of all kinds, of all places, in all locations, on the phone, in person, etc. Not online, just I'm talking about people on the phone or in person, anywhere, at any time, for any reason. And when you interact with somebody in mere presence of life, when you have no agenda, you're not projecting yourself, you're just presence for somebody, presence of, like, you yourself have no intentions except to harmonize with life. People light the heck up because they're no longer trying to perform for this stupid, there's just simply too much of it, okay? with that, because it makes it nonsense because there's too much of it. The constant identity comparison and ego comparison. I got this, you don't. I got this, you don't. I'm better at this, you're not. That whole nonsense. When you interact with people with none of that, but open, honest presence of just life itself, period. People just light right up, and I absolutely love it. And I don't even try. I'm just like dancing around inside, like just, I got no intention. I'm just interacting with people, and there's no performance, there's no comparisons, there's just the presence of life, no baggage, no weight to the interaction. And that is the dance of life, the flow of life. That is just in the moment, two people interacting with nothing on their back. And that lights, if you give people the opportunity to be in that moment with somebody else, that lights them all up. And it's awesome to be aware of that. I started out this past year, not just 2020, this since January of last year, just watching that unfold. And it's awesome, because people, their faces light up, their mood lights up, they get elevated, their weight comes off, their skeletons in their closet that weigh the people down. It just melts away in the moment, and they are just light as a feather. And if you come into an interaction that way, you're along the ride too, and it is fun. It's awesome. We're just interacting with strangers lightly. It's like if everybody did that, it would be literally unimaginable. And I'm not talking about being corny, being dorky, or quirky, or stick up your rear acting like you're a freaking you know what. I'm just talking about just presence and nothing else. Presence of life, that's it. Doesn't matter if you're laughing, giggling, or joking around, or just being light in the moment. Light in weight. Just presence for somebody. That, yeah. And yeah, if he does not shine, he is darkness. I've been around people who have nothing but projected negativity, and it is like poison. That's why I'm always telling people close to me, like, stop. You don't understand depth. So I'm not being, it's an observational statement of analyzing. It's like, you don't understand depth. You haven't shown me you do, or explained you do, or expressed that you understand depth. So everything you're just rambling about in negativity is a lot harsher the deeper you understand. It's like somebody spitting poison at you left and right, where it's like, yo, stop. It's infectious. But then the opposite is even more infectious. You ain't got to be a positive little weirdo, but you just open presence, just let it go. Let everything flow. It's not a performance. That's the thing. You're not performing anything. You're just being in the moment. You're just being present in the moment. And that's it. That is it. All right, it's 25. Yeshua said, love your brother like your soul, guard him like the pupil of your eye. Probably thinking, relative brother, your parents' other child. You just love the people. Love other people like your soul. Guard them like the people of your eye. Because again, depth of understanding. Okay, here's a rude awakening. What I mentioned earlier about a stone. If a simple stone could be that beautiful in depth of understanding of its singularity and its completeness of itself, how beautiful do you think the singular human existence really is? That's why absence is so putrid. Because like you can see how beautiful every being is, every human life. Not to sound corny, I'm talking depth, not superficial, stupid sayings of nonsense. And yeah, I will call them that in comparison, because that's a language barrier. It's like once you understand that, it's like you value life itself, like your own, even beyond your own soul. Everything else just naturally follows.
I just can't find something on foot.
All right. Let's see if I go to 37 and then be done for the day. I could do this all day, every day on anything at all. This is basically what I do in my own time. I just deeply analyze and dissect and for understanding, and doesn't matter if it's biblical or religious or religion or scientific or reality or existence, anything. I simply enjoy it. Just simply for the sake of simply understanding in the singular sense. Because once you understand something singularly, everything flows from that center. That is why depth is better than superficiality. You can pile as much nonsense out as you want on the surface, but once you keep digging, it's like everything above that core is secondary. It's already known. It's like once you know the center of a spider web, you can follow all the webbing all the way out to the edges any which way possible. So where is it better to be? At the center of the web, making a physical example, or at the edges of it? It's like you got more to, a spider has more to crawl on, to use just a physical analogy. A spider has more areas to crawl around from the center than it does around just staying on the edges and not going deeper into this towards the center. All right. Yeshua said, "You see the mote in your brother's eye, but you do not see the beam in your own eye. When you cast the beam out of your own eye, then you will see clearly to cast the mote from your brother's eye." Mm-hmm. I wish they would say this plainly. It's like, why is it always got to be in this weird, like I said, the understanding is simple, but it's like these words are just like, like, I know, language of the times or the translator. When you see the mote in your brother's eyes, and you cast the beam out of your own eye. Beam and motes. Well, what is that? I'm literally trying to think of what a mote what it's specifically using as a reference. to understand what its meaning is, what it's describing. It's like I can't understand, the mote in the brother's eyes unless I know what a mote is. Yeah, that's what I figure about. I didn't know what a mote itself was. So one has a splinter in his eye, and then the beam is a whole freaking log. Like one's a little sin and one's like a whole lot of them. So basically, it is saying you are being externally judgmental and not self-analytic or reflective or self-accountable. You are damning the whole world and claiming that you yourself, in your own illusion, is perfectly clean. Reality check, people. Absolutely nobody is except Yeshua. Just accept that. So that's what it's saying. And then when you empty out the skeletons of your own closet, you take accountability for your own sins and cease them. It's not really about ceasing, it's about first understanding. Because if you don't understand what you're doing wrong, you cannot cease it. So if you don't know what you're sinning or what you're doing against that which is life, if you're remaining in absence and you don't know it, how are you going to cast the absence out of you and go in presence of life? You don't. Therefore, understanding has to come first. Awareness, then understanding. You need to be aware of it, and then you have to understand it. Then you could be accountable, you could reflect, analyze the works. But instead, there is no log in my eye, but I'm going to name the splinter in my brother's as if it's a skyscraper. No, that is wrong. When you cast the beam out of your own eye, then you will be clear enough to see and help remove the sin or the wrong or the absence of life in the other eye, in your brother's eye. You cannot help somebody out of what is wrong if you yourself are doing wrong, even if you are ignorant. That's it. That's the whole thing right there, 26. All right, 27. Yeshua said, if you do not fast as regards the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not observe the Sabbath as a Sabbath, you will not see the Father. Now, people always think about fasting as, once again, everything has to be superficial. Why? It's completely different when you take it to its depths. When you stop referring it to talking about the physical. It is not. It is talking about the very essence of self, the very essence of life, the flow of being, existence, etc. The intangible within, the intangible flow of life. Not everything physical. So it's not about physical fasting. Not entirely that. That's the physical results. That's secondary. What you have to fast is internal disruption. Anything that takes away from the essence of life, that which matters most. Anything that derails you from that has to be fasted, eliminated, taken away, and trained, and understand it and stay away from it, and and whatnot. If you're consuming something bad and it's influencing your physical internals in a negative way, well, then you stop consuming it, and then you get healthy. Same analogy for that which is within. And again, the Sabbath. The Sabbath is made for man, not man for the Sabbath. I don't know. I treat every day like the Sabbath. No, I mean, it's hard to say. A day of rest. But you see, that's the thing. Like doing all this, even research, I could research just all day, every day, and only sleep and eat right here, in front of information, whether it's in front of a computer or walking around town or driving through on the highway, it don't matter. It's like that, as people call work. It doesn't make me tired. I enjoy it. I could do it endlessly. So it's like I don't need a day of rest. Every day is rest because every day is awesome. It's like, let's be crystal clear. Even the negative happenings of the flow of life aren't entirely, they are not bad until they are in the moment. So if you don't sit in the moment fearing dangerous, possible, imagination-filled futures, then there's nothing in the current moment of now to worry about to cause you to need a day of rest. Physically speaking, that's different. I'm not talking physicality. I'm talking about that which is within. Because that, if aligned, it's like the Energizer Bunny. It's been over a year now. I'm not tired of doing this, and I've been at it non-stop. All right. Yes, 28. Yeshua said, I took my place in the midst of the world, and I appeared to them in flesh. I found all of them intoxicated. I found none of them thirsty, and my soul became afflicted for the sons of men, because they are blind in their hearts and do not have sight. For empty they came into the world, and empty too they seek to leave the world. But for the moment they are intoxicated, when they shake off their wine, they will repent. Once again, it's simple celebration of the absence of life and no thirst or yearning for understanding of it. Because nobody teaches, it's not taught, the foundation of being, the foundation of existence, of reality, of life, of everything is not taught. It is falsely stated as if society and everything else defines it. It's like, well, let's see. Well, if you take the very essence of life away, does physicality remain? No, it doesn't. Reverse that. Take away all physicality. Does the essence of life remain? Yeah. One expresses the other. Not the other created the expressor. But yeah, if you come across a bunch of sinful people, rather, just in absence of life, in the moment, just doing whatever to physically please themselves while not nourishing anything that which is within, except taking it away and doing it wrong, going against it, then yeah, became afflicted. It's not a good sight to see that. And especially nowadays, you can just search one thing on the internet and you can see an endless thing of videos and pictures and references to the absence of life, even in a singular example. Or back then, I mean, it wasn't readily at your fingertips. And when they shake off their wine, they will repent, meaning shake off their nonsense, their ignorance. Realize, oh, we just did wrong. We can't do that. To name it simply, that. To repent, to understand, and accountability. But first you have to understand. First you have to be aware of it. Then you have to understand it. Then you have to take action against it, or for it, against it, etc. That's accountability. That's repentance. It's the whole thing in one. "29. Yeshua said, if the flesh came into being because of spirit, it is a wonder. But it did. But if spirit came into being because of the body, it is a wonder of wonders. Indeed, I'm amazed at how this great wealth has made its home in this poverty." It's making fun of what I just said. I didn't even read that far ahead, and I already answered that with 28. The spirit did not come into being because of the body. Yeah, amazed at how this great wealth has made its home in this poverty. Well, time's up. I'll have to stop it at 29. So what's the poverty? It's home in ignorance. You're ignorant of that which is life, the presence of life. The great wealth is the absence of life. Rather, you're dictating the very essence of life, the very essence of even yourself within, based on physical nonsense. The very essence of a person is based on their tangible wealth. Like, that's nonsense. But that's it for today. I will start again with 30.